this is our Stead Center website and Art of Ethics. Just love for you to know that this piece of artwork was created by one of the students' children here at Garrett. So Samantha Eiser at one point was working for the Stead Center, and her daughter at the age of 13 created this logo for us. So we're trying our best to, practice what we preach as part of this project. So the background to this project is that the Stead Center has as one of its goals to do ethics for children primarily in contexts of inequality. And when I came on, we thought it's great to do ethics for children, but what about inviting children to do ethics with us? And would that not be more empowering? And so that's what this whole project is born from. And you can check out each of our pieces here. We do also have a description of what the project is specifically for kids. So if you would like to use that language in any programming that you do, feel free to use whatever we have put here. The bulk of what Art of Ethics is a free curriculum provided across age spans. So from pre-K all the way through high school, as well as some intergenerational curricular opportunities. And I will actually go to the curriculum right now for you. So from Art of Ethics, you can go to curriculum. And Liz is one of the authors of the curriculum, as well as Samantha Eiser and myself, who I mentioned earlier. Her daughter did the logo. So each of these is hyperlinked to a view-only Google document. And you can see for each age group that we have done resources for Christian communities, interfaith communities, and non-religious or secular communities. We also have this special pre-K worksheet, which is simply a printout. I'll actually show you an example of this later on, where you can have the kids go ahead and do their art directly on this piece of paper, and it has a QR code for parents to go ahead and upload. Feel free to adapt this worksheet if you'd like it for other age groups as well. And then because we got some requests of faith communities that were still doing most of their programming online, we created an adaptation of the middle school age for Christian, interfaith, and non-religious communities that could be done online via Zoom or Teams like this. So one of the key pieces of the curriculum is then to invite children and youth to add what they have to say to our gallery. And each of the different ages and stages curriculum gives you the directions for either how you, as someone who is a children family ministry director, or if you are a parent, we have an individual upload form and we have a group or organizational upload form. And we give you directions on how to get both the children's assent, because we would like them to know their photos being shared, as well as parent or youth leader consent to have these items up. And you'll see, so I had said that Josie created our logo. When you click on each one of these, you'll see the artwork, and then you'll see a short description. Obviously, Josie's is a little longer, being 14, but she sort of gives us a sense of what this means for her and the importance of ethics being treated fairly, especially as a mixed race person, and how she sees justice as a balancing scale of equality.
Charlie, depending on the season, depending on the mood or the day, will either go by Charlie or Charlotte. And she will have long periods of time where she's one, and then she will switch to the other. I frankly find that fantastic, and gives me a sense of where she's at, which helps me then better facilitate and relate to the children. We, during this session, this was in mid-June over the summer, we used the curriculum that I had developed using this book called Say Something. This is a book by Peter Reynolds. He not only is an author, but he also is an illustrator. So any of those I Am Love, I Am Peace, I Am One books by Susan Verdi, he's the illustrator for all of those. This is an excellent book helping children understand and remember that they have a voice, and that voice exists to literally say something, and all the various things that you can say. So in the process of this lesson, I think I had about 20 students. I sat on a rocking chair and took a really good look at who was sitting with who was talking with who was wearing what. And I don't think I have the ability to share, or else I would show you this quick little movie. But I began the lesson explaining that there's a lot that I can tell. Now, I would say infer with adults, but there's a lot that I can tell simply by looking at you. And I could tell with Charlie that she really cares about lifting people up. And the reason that I could tell that is because she was wearing a sweatshirt that said, "You go, girl." And so that was my entryway into the lesson. And she, of course, said, "Yeah, absolutely." And, it's not necessarily "you go, girl," it's "you go, people." I said, "Wonderful." I said, what she's doing is demonstrating a value. She values lifting people up. So I tried to distinguish between values and ethics. Values are the mantras that we may hold dear to us, but ethics are the way we live them out. And so Charlie's value was communicated by wearing that sweatshirt, and the wearing of it is the ethic. That really allowed kids to understand the difference between the two, and that there is a living out that is composed. There's an active component to ethics. So from there, as you can tell, we read Say Something and kind of talked about what would we like to say things about, what is important to us, what do we value. That may be friendship, that may be time to ourselves, it can be all kinds of things. And then we're going to do a self-portrait, and that's what you see here, of what you value. And so Charlie decided that she valued time with God, and a lot of that is quiet time for her that she particularly does at night. And so she drew a dark cross because that to her represented nighttime. And then above that, you'll also see a kind of ocean-looking sunset above that cross. She very much values the ability to calm down and programming in rest into her day, which for 6 years old, for her to not only verbalize that, but be able to come up with an artistic depiction of that is just proof positive to me that children even younger than 6, but in Charlie's case 6, know what they value, are able to communicate it, and when given space, will live it out in their ethical process. And then the hearts, of course, existed because she cares very deeply about not only loving herself, but loving others. And so that's her self-portrait.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Sure.
I want to go back quickly because I did miss something that really Liz's description there is reminding me that we do have sign up forms for you where you can always get more information. You can get contact information for us, because if you need any assistance even thinking through what you might do, please let us know. We're happy to talk through things with you. But there is also a leader's guide here. That leader's guide includes some of the background or the step-by-step pieces that you can hear Liz talk about without even thinking about it, right? Like there's a difference between values and ethics, right? Values are part of ethics, but an ethic is often something we live. It's the way that we do things in the world. So our values get applied to something as we do that work. And so we've tried to, obviously it doesn't matter if we're like really, exact about our language there, but we've tried to break down some of those ideas for you all as leaders in this leader's guide. So you feel a bit more comfortable and fluid, because we know that even the word ethics is not something that most children talk about regularly. And so you're introducing a bit of a new concept and conversation to them. And so we really did want to provide you with background information, both on the kind of child development theory that we're working with, but also then from there, putting it into, for us, Christian theological context. So there's a separate section, if you are from Christian communities, that breaks down some of the biases we have in Christian communities towards adult thinking and maybe thinking kids don't even know how to do ethics. So we do not have all of these up yet, but because many of the items on our gallery are from younger children, I wanted to give you a chance to see the work that we did with high school students recently. And this was at a local school here in the Chicago area. So this is a distance picture. This is a close-up picture. So again, we used that handout, and each student got their handout and created their own image of what they think is ethical or what we are called to do in terms of justice to live out our ethics to change the world. So you can see many of them have a lot to do with the environment, this school in general, but a lot of the kids in this senior religion class are really big into the environment. Things were, very different from, thinking about helping different species to fast fashion. I love that one up there. Thinking about the way in which our use of technology or cell phones ecologically hurts the earth, division in terms of conversations. You can see there's one, there was another one, I think it might be cut off here, on gun violence, the ways in which we talk to each other and how it harms us, thinking about obviously war and peace in the context of what's going on with Israel and Palestine right now. So this is an example of having high school kids, and these kids were 16 to 18 participating in this as well. So it really can be a conversation across ages.